Welcome back everyone. Following them getting back on track with a win over Charlotte, the Lakers will have a tough back-to-back on Saturday and Sunday, and between now and then, they need to figure a few things out about their rotation. During their game against Charlotte, we saw the return of Christian Wood and Max Christie to their rotation, and now it has many people wondering if they will remain within their rotation. After all, they were playing without Cam Reddish, which automatically opened up about 25 minutes of action, a majority of which were in fact filled by Christie and Wood. Maybe not directly by Christian Wood, but being without Reddish likely did contribute to him getting minutes, and then it definitely contributed to Christie getting more. With that in mind though, should they both remain in the rotation, or are we simply looking at a random good performance while playing against a struggling team? We will talk about exactly that during today's video. Before we get into it though, I would genuinely appreciate it if you could take a brief moment to drop a like, subscribe to the channel if you're new around here, and hit that notification bell to never miss out when I upload a video. But without further ado, let's dive right into it, and we'll begin by talking about the rotation last night, which again, was considerably different while playing without Cam Reddish. Due to them being without him, we had Rui Hachimura take his spot within their starting lineup, Christie filling that 3-and-D type role for them off the bench, and then Christian Wood filling a combination of their backup center minutes, along with some power forward minutes out there too. Again, remember to take everything with a grain of salt here, as there won't be many games where nobody on their team plays under 30 minutes, but I really did like the way they utilized Christie and Wood. And we'll begin by talking about what they did with Christian Wood. After pretty much being a DNP in 5 of their past 7 games, along with many more than that, Christian Wood surprisingly entered the game during the beginning of the second quarter, initially playing at center while Anthony Davis took a break. And while he once again did not look very good on defense, he did make an impact by knocking down a 3-point shot and overall improving their floor spacing on the court, which is something they have not been getting from Jackson Hayes. Again, the defense was a bit of an issue, but he overall was a +6 after being subbed out at the 6-minute and 27-second mark, and then even more surprising, he checked right back in about 2 minutes later, this time with Anthony Davis beside him. And here's where they can make Wood more effective. Playing anybody with Anthony Davis will tend to make them look better on defense, and especially if we're talking about another big. Now, it does not work for every matchup, but it certainly did for this one, and it led to Christian Wood having a team high plus-minus rating of +11 during the second quarter. Throughout that time frame, he primarily played the role of an off-ball floor spacer, along with being a help defender and secondary rebounder to Anthony Davis on defense, which is pretty much the role they brought him in for, though unfortunately, he rarely has been able to fill it like he did for them last night. I've noticed a lot of people questioning why he was removed from the rotation to begin with, and it's really pretty simple. Like I referred to before, it's very difficult to play him on defense without Anthony Davis with him. In fact, it's been nearly impossible for them at times. The problem has often been for every point or any amount of production they get from Wood on offense, he's given that right back up on defense, shown by him knocking down a 3-point shot and then immediately turning around on defense to give up an and-one layup during the second quarter. However, they really don't have a better option. They tried giving Jackson Hayes an opportunity, but that ended up being even worse. And then the small ball lineups with Rui Hachimura, Jared Vanderbilt, or LeBron at center have not worked out very well either. And believe it or not, Christian Wood happens to be a part of 3 out of their 5 best 5-man lineup combinations. Now, all of them have only played in 12 minutes of action or less, but it does show you that he can benefit their rotation if used correctly. Although the difficult part is finding that right combination, because on the flip side of that, he's also been a part of 3 out of their 5 worst 5-man lineup combinations, really showing you the risk-reward factor when it comes to Christian Wood. And don't get it twisted, it really is difficult to find that right combination. I mean, a lineup of D'Lo, Reeves, Prince, Wood, and Anthony Davis seems like it would work, but that happens to be their second worst 5-man lineup combination, currently being a -23 and 32 total minutes. But then nearly that very same lineup with Rui Hachimura instead of D'Angelo Russell happens to be a +16, and I'm only showing you that to make you think a little bit. It's not as simple as giving him playing time and that he'll do well. It's about finding the right lineup combination, the right matchup, and then putting him in the right spots on the court. And while again, their matchup last night definitely played a part in it, they found a really good combination to include Wood in, both during the second quarter like we talked about before, but also during the third quarter as well. In fact, this third quarter lineup has now entered their top 5 in regard to plus-minus rating. And the one I'm referring to included D'Lo, Reeves, Christie, Hachimura, and Christian Wood. A pretty unusual combination for them in a game that was so competitive. That lineup entered the game with a 10-point lead late in the third quarter, and it only happened to be due to Anthony Davis getting in foul trouble. But rather than giving up that lead, they extended it, and not only by a couple of points either. Believe it or not, they pushed that lead to nearly 30 points by the time they made a change during the fourth quarter, and credit to Darvin Ham for sticking with it. And while I typically do not like their zone defense, it worked really well for them in this one, and I think it played a part in Christian Wood looking better on defense without Anthony Davis to help him. Again, I know we're talking about a struggling Charlotte Hornets team here, but there were plenty of good takeaways for Christian Wood. Not only did he play well, but they found a good combination of guys to put around him, and then maybe found a way to make him more effective on defense during certain matchups. In my opinion, I think he should and will remain in their rotation going forward, primarily due to them not having a better option, but also from what he showed out there in this one, and that might be the case for Christie as well. The direct beneficiary of them being without Cam Reddish, Christie went out there and put up 10 points, 7 rebounds, 2 blocks, and knocked down 2 3-point shots while doing it, giving them the 3-and-D production they're hoping for. And believe it or not, there might not be a player on their entire team with a better case for more playing time than Max Christie. Very few of their 5-man lineup combinations have played over 30 minutes together, and the ones that have not been that great. Although one of them in particular really stands out, and it does happen to include Christie. In 72 total minutes together, the third highest of any lineup they've used by the way, the 5-man lineup combination of D'Lo, Christie, Prince, LeBron, and Anthony Davis are a plus 23. Not only that though, but they have an offensive rating of 117.5, which would currently be tied for 8th, a defensive rating of 104.5, which would be number 1 by a wide margin, and then a net rating of plus 13.1, which would also be number 1 by a wide margin. Now, I obviously want Cam Reddish healthy and available, but whenever he doesn't play, that is when Christie does tend to play well, and likely due to the increased playing time that he gets to find a rhythm. And not only that, but the entire team has benefited as well. They play great when he's been a part of their starting lineup, and then even when he's come off the bench to play in over 20 minutes. In my opinion, it really comes down to him being a more true 3-and-D option. Even with his 3-point shooting average being down from a rough start, their opponents stay closer to him on defense compared to Reddish or Vanderbilt, providing more room on the court for LeBron and Anthony Davis to operate. And even though Christie might not quite be the defender that Reddish and Vanderbilt are, he definitely can hold his own out there, shown by that 5-man lineup combination having an elite defensive rating with him out there, and that's with him being their primary point of attack defender. In reality, you can even argue that he's the best option to include at shooting guard within their starting lineup. I know it might sound a bit crazy, but the numbers do point to it being one, and at the very least I think that should lead to him getting a permanent spot within their rotation. With all of that being said though, what do you guys think? How do you feel about Christian Wood and Max Christie within their rotation going forward? And did this video change your mind at all? Comment your thoughts down below. That will do it for this video though. Big thank you to those of you who took the time to watch until the end of this video, and until the end of all of my videos in general. I really hope you enjoyed it, and if you did, be sure to drop a like on the video, subscribe to the channel if you have not already, and hit that notification bell to never miss out when I upload a video. But as always, thank you for watching and have a great day.